motherfucker. All right, there we go. All right, what's up, everybody? Saltiest Gaming, and we're back with another podcast. TSGP, we're back. It's Thursday night. Surprising how fast these weeks are going by, you know? Last week, I tried my best to not get endgame spoiled, and I guess it was just my destiny, you know? And I got it spoiled in our chat, surprisingly enough. So just want to get this out there. If we got some trolls out there, if you want to spoil endgame, you're going to get permaban. And I'll just put that notice out there for all the mods. You can permaban anybody that feels like they want to be a troll tonight. Because this is a 10-year thing in the making. We don't want to wreck it for everybody else. So just want to get that out of the way. Another thing that happened on the channel is the membership button went live. So that's the join blue button you see by the subscribe button. What comes with that is badges to say how long you've been a member. I want to shout out the Indie Gamer and Z Black Rider. They've been members both over 6 months. That's why they have that little badge by their names. You get custom emojis. We get 5 since we have under 5. But if we get 5 members, which we're missing 1, we get an extra emoji. Shout out to Timothy Dixon. He became a member today as well. That was before the show started, so shout out to him. Also, what else do we got going on? We got 2 special guests tonight, which is amazing. We got 2 new guests. They've never been here before. We got new gifts to show off tonight, so I'm excited about that. Got some great topics.
The gift library is building.
Yes, it's crazy. I have a lot of them right now. So without further ado, let's get into our intros. Let's start off with our guest. Let's start off with Slow-Mo Backslap. We're happy to have you on here, my dude. How's things going?
Man, things are going good. It's been a pretty good week. I've got a lot of gaming in, so whenever I can get a lot of gaming in and not have kids climbing all over me and interrupting, it's a good week for me. So yeah, I've been doing good, and I'm glad to be here in the Salty Podcast. I'm excited because these topics seem pretty good, man.
Yeah, we have some good topics. I know you're part of the Scumcast as well. That's on Saturdays, right? So you're not a stranger to debate, which I like. That's awesome.
Not at all.
On the show, we like to get people's gaming background. So if you could quickly go through, you know, where you started to where you are now. We like to kind of connect people instead of the funny console wars that go on social media. People like to see, you know, what they have in common here. So
I feel you. Yeah. So for me, I'm 38. You know, I'm pretty old now. But I've been gaming since I was like 5-6 years old. My first system was the NES, Nintendo Entertainment System. Moms would not allow me to get a Sega Genesis as well, so I had to choose whether I was going to be Sega or Nintendo or not. So I kind of rolled with Nintendo, and I was able to play Sega games with friends who also had it. But I've been gaming since then, and it's been I've been big with. Back then with RPGs like the Final Fantasy series, Chrono Trigger. I love those. As I got older, started to mess around with Madden and NBA Live, like how we did as teenagers. But I got back into the more serious gaming scene once I went to college, and once the Xbox came out and Halo Combat Evolved, that was it for me. So it was like I had those LAN parties where where you got the Switch in the middle, and like I think we used to do it in my my buddy's garage. We get the Switch in the middle of the room and like 4 TVs lined up, and it was just amazing. So I think that's where I went from being just I'm a pretty little bit more than casual gamer to just straight hardcore gamer from then on. So I game on everything. I play everything. I got a Switch, a PlayStation 4. I got Xbox One X. I would do PC gaming if I cared. If I spent enough time to actually decide to put a PC together. Yeah, I work in IT, so for me, it's just like, you know what? I work on computers and servers all day. I just when I get home, I don't really want to look at any of that shit. So
I don't blame you, dude.
But yeah, I love my games. I love looter shooters. For anyone out there that has seen me on other podcasts, I'm always talking about The Division, Borderlands, Destiny. Whatever, like the looter shooter is my thing right now. So that's about it. Just real quick about me and my gaming history. So
well, yeah. since you're a Sega man, you'll like our first topic. It's going to be the Sonic movie. There's a trailer that came out, so we'll get into that in a little bit. A nice little teaser there. Next up, we have Wilmy Hood. He is a Patreon of the channel. Great community member. This is his first time podcasting that I could know of. Maybe some other realm he has done it. I'm excited to have him on. How's it going, my dude? And let's get your gaming background as well.
Well, I've been gaming since it's walked up the hill both ways. Actually, I've been a gamer ever since it was the lowest form of life on the planet.
Okay.
The only people worse were the kids that stayed in the library and played Dungeons and Dragons.
I remember that time.
I started playing ColecoVision, Pong, Atari. Now there's nothing I don't own.
Mm-hmm.
I've got gaming PCs, Xboxes, PlayStation. I play anything and everything. I don't care what it is. I'm a big horror survival guy. I love my horror games. That's really about it. I'm just kind of glad to be here. I've never been on a podcast, so I'm a little nervous. Look over.
Hey, man, welcome. Yeah, I was my first couple times too, man. I remember that.
Yeah.
And I promised if my wife and I got divorced tomorrow, we would not be brother and sister, but I am Southern.
Okay, that's good to hear. Good to hear.
I'm extremely Southern from North Carolina, if you couldn't tell. But when the Xbox came out, I really sucked at Gears of War. When Gears came out, I wound up being the North Carolina champion for Gears of War here.
Wow, nice, dude.
Back in the day, I was actually involved in Zelda tournaments, believe it or not. And back in the 80s, we didn't have LAN parties and all that great stuff. You played until you died, and that's how you won. They just put everybody in a big room. I survived the Pac-Man fever, all the shitty breakfast cereal, and the really tacky cartoons, and I'm happy with where gaming is now.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
See a lot of people complaining about graphics and until you sit down and played some of the games we played back in the 80s, can't complain.
Yeah,
I feel you on that.
Gaming has just come so far, over the last couple of decades. I mean, it's crazy to sit down and play some of the games we play now.
That's right, man. A lot of times it's hard to see where you currently are at, and a lot of times you're like, man, I can't wait to get to the future. But a lot of times you're doing stuff that you thought was in the future, like all this thin TVs and 4K graphics. It's crazy, yeah. But it's good to have you on for sure. So let's get into the panel members. That sounded weird. Noof Nukem, how's it going, my dude?
Boom, boom, kaboom, it's Noof in the room. Yes, you guys knew that intro was coming, and a big shout out to the original Chewbacca, Peter Mayo, passed away. Guys, just found this out not too long ago. I guess he passed away a few days ago. So I got to do a little... That's for you. And then I got this little line for you here, boys. I'm about to bust it open here. I did it all for the Wookiee. The Wookiee. And Sabaki lost his cookie and stuck it in R2 and stuck it in R2. There you go, guys. Anyway.
Am I wearing off on you, Noof? I love it.
Awesome, dude. It's good to have you here. Titan, you were talking, so what's up, man? How's it going, my dude?
Yeah, I was talking. What's up, everyone? Real quick, welcome to Wilmy Hood, and everyone be nice as we pop his cherry. How old are you, Wilmy? Never thought you were going to pop your cherry at this age, huh?
Older than Cletus.
46.
There you go. Welcome to Slow Mo. I podcast with Slow Mo before. I believe it was on Breakfast with Boom. But welcome to you two, and let's get it going. I'm ready to go.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Next up, we have Hyena Den. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's good to be here on another episode of the Saltiest Gaming Podcast. There's a lot of fun topics today. Some I don't know that I don't think is on the list, but it might be mentioned here. That I've watched pop up in the community again for the third week in a row regarding Forza. So yeah, I have a lot to say about that topic specifically.
Dude,
yeah, I saw your tweet about that.
What's the topic? You guys are holding me at suspense here.
It's a little thing revolving around this big, huge Forza title called Forza Street. Maybe you guys might have heard of it.
We'll talk about that.
Forza Street.
Oh boy!
All right, next up we have Bloody Knuckles, man. Bloody Knuckles, what's going on, man?
What's going on, people? You already know who it is. Bloody Knuckles, aka the Gothic Gamer, and your resident anime king. I gotta say, I'm happy to be back. Last week, a lot of stuff going on, but I'm glad to be happy. There's a couple things that we're gonna talk about tonight that I'm excited for. Stuff that one particular that I brought up because of the fact that I got to talk about that. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I'm feeling good. I'm happy. Good week, good day.
Well, just to let you know, we do have a gift just for you. So it's the Wikipedia gift. You can look it up on Wikipedia.
Oh, you found one?
Yeah,
huh?
There's multiple ones. So we'll get the one that suits Bloody the best. But I got one for Titan already. We'll have gifts for all the panel before we know
baby, suck my wiki.
Probably a Bobcat Goth weight one.
Yeah, we'll get one of those for sure. So without further ado, let's talk about the first topic of the night, which is the Sonic trailer, the live-action trailer. It was, man, talk about meme status. That was it was kind of cringy, to be honest with you guys, and Sonic's looking weird, man. There's Donkey did a video. I don't know if you guys know who he is.
Yeah,
but he did a video, and it was hilarious. So yeah. I just want to kind of get your guys' takes on the Sonic movie and what you guys thought. And then, I heard Noof say that the directors or whatever, what'd you say, Noof? They're open to change things?
Going off, you might as well throw it to Bloody, because Bloody was the guy who posted it on Twitter. Yeah. So.
Yeah, this is where the boy comes in. So originally we all seen the trailer and saw how bad that character model was for Sonic. And dear God, everyone wanted to pour bleach down their eyes. Everyone just wanted to straight rip them out, right?
That's right.
I mean, come on, human teeth and fur for gloves, like,
yep.
Ugh. Anyways, one of the directors and leads on the project actually posted on Twitter saying that under discussion with the team and seeing kind of the backlash that they are completely going back to the board and going to completely redesign the character for Sonic himself because of the fact that they want it to be right. Sega wants it to be right. So they're completely putting out a brand new character model for the film. Since it's CGI, it's not hard to do. But when they came out with this and looking at some of the people who made slight adjustments already, it's like, why didn't they not just do that at the get-go? Like, you have plenty of choices. I was like, hell, the new Sonic character models from like the TV show or even like the games, it's not hard to take that and just CGI it. Mm-hmm. They wanted to try and do the realistic aspect following, the love of Detective Pikachu, but Detective Pikachu is able to get away with it because it's a specific artist who did all that. This is an abomination.
It is.
Well, Pikachu still looks like Pikachu. Like, to me, this would be the equivalent if they did a Nintendo movie with Mario and they took his mustache off and made the guy 120 pounds.
No. See, like what made Detective Pikachu with all the Pokemon in that film, right? Is a lot of people were like interested and like weirded out at first because it's realistic looking. They try to make all the Pokemon realistic looking. However, the reason that is that there was an artist who had been doing that for years, making realistic models of Pokemon if they were real. And they actually came to that guy and said, hey, look, we want you to come to our work on our movie and make all the characters for us. And that's why the characters all look like that in the Detective Pikachu movie. That's great because that's an artistic style that was actually being wanted. This is not wanted. This is like completely like feared.
So what if they redesign Sonic and it looks worse?
I think the dude is
somebody's getting fired.
Too much of that good because that ain't good.
You know what, Jim Carrey? I like Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey's the only saving grace about that film. Okay,
I'm down with him, but they got to give him a ridiculous stash. They gotta paint it red and make it huge and fit the character.
Oh, did you not see him at the end when he does have the typical Robotnik stash?
I did not. I only saw the one where it's like a typical. Oh, did it?
Yeah, it looked better, but still, Jim Carrey's a pretty skinny guy, and I don't know if Robotnik went on Slim Fast or what. Like, what happened?
You're telling me you never been on Slim Fast?
This is gonna be a series. Robotnik started out slim till Sonic apparently gave him, diabetes or something.
It's weird that you could see something that bad looking get out of the cutting room floor. You know what I'm saying? Like, where are the people that say, "Hey, this is not a good idea to put this out, man. This doesn't look good." I think it comes down to a lot of these people.
Where is that guy?
They're just not gamers, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they had gamers on the decision-making panel, they would have said, "Hey, this isn't going to fly." And that's the problem with these Hollywood producers and people in Hollywood. They just aren't gamers, and that's why we get shit gaming movies, guys.
Yeah.
Someone needs to get in touch with those guys and have them, reach out to the content creators of the gaming community, Titan Drago, Salty, et cetera, we could create a position for that. We could get paid for that. I will take money to make sure that, we got the Wikipedia over here, I'm sure Bloody will join your crew and say, this is not what the dude looks like,
Yeah. I mean, I'm really waiting for the moment where video game movies have that turn. And like the way superhero movies have become better, like there used to be a point in time where all superhero movies were just as bad as these video game movies. They were cringy, they were so cheesy. It was just like you were embarrassed for the people who were acting in it. Just like, wow, did you really see your career here? When you move to Hollywood and try to become a real actor, But now, like, you look at it and, like, these big time actors are buying for these roles, and you got Marvel Studios really like knocking it out of the park with really great, like, spending tons of money and earning tons of money on really high quality movies. Like, when are we going to get that for video games? Because right now it's just like this. It gets bad. I know Ubisoft tried with Assassin's Creed, but I mean, I didn't see it, but I heard it was trash.
It was, yeah.
So what hurt the Assassin's Creed film is that they had the world building there. They had the elements of what makes Assassin's Creed good. What it was is that they just lost the soul of what makes Assassin's Creed. They had the world, they had the story, they had everything. It was just that little piece that was missing. And honestly, the part of that kind of ruins it, is hard to do, is the fact of you're taking the interactive part out of what makes a game. And unless you have a solid, well-built story, taking out that interactivity and that universe is going to be so hard to capture in a film. Only so many things can actually do it really well.
Yeah.
So, that being said, I know what you said, Bloody, that the one dude did the art for the Pokemon movie, but like I said, like, how can one movie get so much hype and people are talking about potential cinematic universe going big, and then another movie just get it so wrong?
Yeah.
That being said, we've had some bad video game movies out there, but one of our Patreons, Matt, he has a question for everybody, and I'm going to ask everybody, and everybody in the chat, you can answer this as well. What's your favorite video game movie of all time? I'll start it off, and it's the Super Mario Brothers movie, the really bad one with it was really bad with the Goombas that look horrifying,
Wait, Jean-Luc, what's his name?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
No, it was just, and then Bowser was some dude. It was horrible, but the thing is like, I'm a big Super Mario's fan, and just for some reason it's so bad that it's so good, if that makes sense. For me, at least. It's good to go back to that. But let's start off with Wilmy. What's your favorite video game movie?
I would say Blood Rain.
Yeah. What is it?
Blood Rain?
Wow, the one directed by Uwe Boll. That's a brave statement.
Blood Rain? I never heard of it.
I mean, compared to the Mario Brothers, I mean, come on.
Yeah, don't you remember the game, Blood Rain? The video game was on 360 and original Xbox and stuff.
Yeah, it was about the vampire woman.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
I never saw that one.
Well,
That's one to look. That's one to look up. Salty. Me and you and I will have to look that one up.
Yeah.
There's boobs in it.
Hey, there's boobs. Sign me up. Hey, speaking about boobs, apparently there's a study out there. The more you look at boobs, if you're a dude, the more you live. I don't know if it's true, but there you go. I mean,
God damn, I'm never dying.
yeah, that's what I said. Man, I'm gonna live
The
forever.
immortal Nuke Nukem.
Yeah, I'm still here.
So that's awesome. I don't know what that is, Wilmy, but it sounds cool. Next up, we have Titan. What's your favorite movie, man?
Oh man, well, favorite video game movie. That's a lot of bad choices to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to go with, I guess, like the first Mortal Kombat, man. I gotta go simple with the Mortal Kombat. I really liked it. A lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people hated it. You know, but we were much younger when that came out, right? Yeah. So there was a lot more probably mature people that probably didn't follow video games, so it probably got a lot of unnecessary hate. But I thought it was really cool. I still remember what Goro looked like. That dude was bad, man.
Oh, yeah, it was really bad. That was a good movie, though.
Yeah, I liked it, dude. I love that movie, actually.
Had a great soundtrack, too.
Yes, great soundtrack. If you go look at Goro...
Kombat! Yeah, they did that awesome, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's up there. I think the audience would agree as well that Mortal Kombat movie is one of the best. I put the question out there on Twitter, would Mortal Kombat work in a cinematic universe? I think it would if it was done right, because I played the campaign in the game, and it's done in a way where the action scenes are so cool and the mocap is done well. Like, these budgets for games are just getting insane. Is someone talking? Hello? So anyway, yeah, I would love to see Mortal Kombat as a cinematic universe. That's just me. Chat, let us know what you guys think of that. Next up, we have our guest, Slow-Mo Backslap. What's your favorite video game movie?
You know, I'm gonna have to go with Titan. I'm gonna go with Mortal Kombat. That was it. I remember going to see it, and it came out in the summer. I was out with some family out in North Carolina, and I remember actually seeing it in the theater. I can't remember how old I was, probably 11 or 12 or something like that. But it was freaking awesome, man. Johnny Cage was my favorite, and I love the part where like he killed Goro, and he's about to fight him, and he just punched him in the balls and took off. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. They had some good actors in there. I can't remember their names, but I knew them. They were decently known at that time.
Lambert.
Hey, isn't Shang Tsung? Isn't he the dude that played him, playing him in MK11?
Correct.
Yeah.
Ari Tagawa, I think it is.
Yeah, and they actually had a trailer for MK11 that had the score from the first Mortal Kombat movie, so it's amazing.
The actor you're thinking of who played Shang Tsung was Kari Hiroki Tagawa.
Oh, man, that gets a Wikipedia gif. Hold up. There you go. No one else would know that, but our
Bloody's
Wikipedia
pulling out his
resident.
wiki again.
Yeah. So
I'm still waiting to see
that dude is a talent.
There it is.
He's done a lot of movies. Back
then. Wikipedia.
Man, you would win a game show.
The guy who played Raiden too. The guy who played Raiden has been in a lot of stuff too. Yes,
Christopher Lambert.
That's it. Christopher Lambert.
Highlander.
Noob's firing back to Wikipedia. Bloody, you got a challenger tonight.
You got to take your throne, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, if he can tell me if he remembers who played Liu Kang, then I'd be impressed.
Ooh. I think that's a no.
It's on the tongue. Robin.
Google.
It is Robin Show, and I didn't have to look it up.
Wait, did he get it? Is that right?
True, Bloody?
No. Hang on. No. Robin Show is his professional name, but his actual name is Show Wanpor.
Oh my God!
No, okay, I lose the ultimate Wikipedia. Fuck.
No,
oh my God.
no way did you know that off the top of your head?
You Google that shit?
What the fuck? You know how I know is because of back then a lot, and I mean a lot of foreign actors, especially Chinese, Korean, and Japanese actors, all had an American name that they used for Hollywood and their actual name.
Wow.
They made it easy for people to
did you know that
recognize
Robin Show starred alongside of Chris Farley in Beverly Hills Ninja?
Beverly Hills, yes.
Hey, so chat, let us know if you think Bloody should go on a game show, because goddamn, the knowledge. It's just there. Random topic comes up. You should go on Jeopardy or something.
I believe when Oriental people come over to America, they get to choose their own name. I'm pretty sure I'm right with that, because I deal with a lot of Orientals where I work.
Katana is hot. Is he talking about the actor from the film? Because Talisa Soto Whew, yes, she was.
Yes.
All right, moving on. Hyena Den, what's your favorite video game movie?
This is a pass for me because honestly,
you got to give him an L. Hold up, I got to find it somewhere there.
I don't think because I'm not a movie watcher, and when I am, it's a lot of fantasy stuff. I don't think I've watched enough movies with video that was related to video games in the first place. Like the closest thing that I can think of is. Well, it wouldn't even count because this predates the games anyways, and that's Lord of the Rings. Like that predates way before that. And the same thing with Pokemon. Like the Pokemon movie came out months after Pokemon Yellow did, and like so that's like the closest thing I can get to, what is my favorite video game related movie, and that's Pokemon the movie 2000. Which is a great movie.
That's cool. That counts.
But it does and it doesn't in the sense that I don't know. It's a weird question. I just don't watch a lot of movies that doesn't pertain to Lord of the Rings or The Matrix or Twister or anything like that.
I feel you. Bloody Knuckles, what's your favorite video game movie?
See, here's where my knowledge is really going to stun everyone, right? My actual favorite video game movie of all time was actually the very first Pokemon film. And the reason is, for people who don't know, is that Pokemon was actually big as a game before it ever got an anime. So when the anime came out, when it was riding the hype after the Red and Blue got big on the Game Boy Color back in the early 90s. So technically, we had a really good video game film. Just people didn't realize that it was.
Yeah.
Now you know. So let's move on to the next topic, shall we?
I was not born in 2000, App. I'm actually much older than that.
All right. So let's talk about developer crunch, man. This is like a weird topic that's been coming up. So what do you guys think about this whole dev crunch? I don't know. Everybody's jumping on this bandwagon. I'm pretty sure that development is increasing the workload because of games and the scope of games, budgets, and everything else. But I don't know. When's the first time you guys heard the word, the phrase dev crunch or developer crunch? I think it was like Anthem for me. They've been talking about it with other games. Now with Mortal Kombat 11, some people are coming out of the woodwork and talking about games that were made like 10 plus years ago, saying that there was crunch there and there's this and that and there's horrible working environments. And what do you guys think of this whole development crunch? Do you think it's an issue? How can it be resolved? Do you think it's just people trying to jump on that train? Let's talk about it. Let's start off with our guest, Slow-Mo. What do you think, man?
Well, I mean, I would say the first time I heard about development crunch is when the whole thing came out about CD Projekt Red and how their work conditions were. And I work in the technical field. I'm a network engineer. I don't work particularly with software or the kind of work that they do, but I do understand long work hours and deadlines in that kind of field. And I get it, but I do with my company, I see that like when we have a work-life imbalance, they hire more people to get that balanced out. I think, and I think the video game industry may need to unionize in order to get this figured out. Because what really is happening is that like there typically what will happen in the industry is that there'll be a company that'll be like, hey, look, we'll just treat you guys better. Like that'll be their slogan. Like you don't have to worry about crunch here. We're going to treat you good. You're going to get your typical 9 to 5, and we're going to get that game out on time. And then like employees will gravitate to companies like that, and then you would start to see kind of like it would naturally balance itself out where other companies would say, hey, look, we're losing employees, we're losing devs and not getting any devs back due to how we treat them. We got to do better. But when everyone's acting the same way, there is no well, I can just go to this dev or I can just go to that dev because they're all doing the same thing. They're all working you what they call the this is it the 996 is what I've heard is called, where you work from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. And like some people are fine with something like that, but a lot. What I hear from the video game industry about a lot of these devs is, divorce is high, and depression is high, and they like we talk about. You mentioned Anthem. You got developers locking themselves in closets and crying. Like what's that? These are grown people locking themselves in closets and crying. There's a problem here. So I mean, if it has to be unionizing, okay, but something has to happen in order to, because I love my games and I want my games, but I don't want my games to the detriment of someone else's. I don't want my games to yet. There are people committing suicide after they finish it. I don't want that.
I feel you, man. Yeah, those are great points that you brought up there, and I think it's part of the issue here is these publishers have a lot of pressure because any small little thing can make years worth of work just collapse in a second. You see this on social media. They're investing more and more and more in these projects, yet the video game prices are staying the same. Like, we're getting more microtransactions, but when microtransactions are done the wrong way, it could destroy a project. So yeah, I'm not behind the scenes, nor can I say that I ever had experience with that, but those are great points that you brought up. Noof, I'm sorry, man, I missed you with the previous topic.
No problem.
What's your favorite gaming movie, real quick, and then we'll talk on this topic as well.
Yeah, real quick. I mean, there's a lot of good ones. I kudos to the guys for picking Mortal Kombat. Back in the day, it was an easy one to pick. But I'm going to say the recent Tomb Raider, based on the reboot of the 2013 game with Alicia Vikander. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a well done movie. Like, it actually felt like a good movie. Like, it might not have been the biggest script in the world, but it was true to the source material. I thought she did a great job of being a very believable Lara Croft. I love the fact that they had cinematics in the movie that almost looked like they were pulled straight out of that game. I almost felt like I was in the game for a change. It was really cool. I love that one. I thought that was well done.
Nice. And then developer.
It has to be good if they're already talking about doing the sequel to that film.
Yeah, it's true. I never saw it myself, so I can't really speak on it. But what about developer crunch, Noof? What do you think, man?
Well, we've heard this time and time again, and it's definitely a real problem, and it's understandable because, unlike the days of old when studios rarely got above 100 people, we're looking at some of these studios now, and you can tell by the credits on a game that we're getting into the hundreds of categories. I can't even fathom what it must be like to be, say, a game director, to come to work every day and know that the fate of your next game, the fate of a studio, a stockbroker, stocks, and the whole work is on the fate of your shoulders. And it's a timeline, and a lot of us, we got to ease up on the devs because I know they're not always perfect, but you got to remember a lot can happen in a run of 5 years. People get pregnant, people take maternity leaves, people can have debts in the family, people need time off. Like, there's a lot of things, and we got to think of it as ourselves as a regular job that we go to every day. Their job is still regular, but they get to do something they love. But I'm sure at some point in time in that conversation, like Slow-Mo mentioned, there are times when they don't love it because it should have been a fun job. It should have been something to look forward to. It turns into be a grind where somebody's smacking you on the shoulder and saying, I need this done in this length of time, and we got to push it. And I've always said one of the things that I'm sure must bug the hell out of them is a lot of them, they come fresh out of school. I can tell you, I've seen a lot of these devs from BioWare in Edmonton, and they're young. These kids are way younger than me. So, they didn't even come up in the 8-bit generation. Most of them were born in the 90s. They're learning this stuff. They're probably not masters of their craft yet. You know what I mean? They have to learn so many things. And we all know what that's like. You ever get you go buy a computer and you just start getting used to the operating system and you start learning how to use the fucking computer, and then all of a sudden a new one comes out and you got to learn it again. Imagine that's like that for a whole studio of 300 people trying to learn a game engine, trying to learn the program that maybe they were just starting to get what has changed, trying to deal with the bugs, the hiccups, the massive games. With the gamers demand bigger, better games all the time, and we're putting our own stress on them too, because we want our games to be 50 hours. We want our games to be open world and bigger than we've ever seen. And every time a game gets larger in scale, they fucking get larger for the amount of bugs and coding that is going to go wrong, and it will go. We see that now. I mean, what are we at? Like 80% of games come out now need huge fucking updates in their first week. Like, that was a
and
thing
are delayed at that too.
That never happened years ago on the 360. How often did you get a massive upgrade? Or the PS3, you might have got a couple hundred megabytes at best, and now it's like every time we get a game, 25 gigs, 34, and you're like, what the fuck? That's bigger than the games we used to have. Like, what is it? What is going on? So, like I said, it's crazy. I can't even imagine the stress they deal with. And you know what? You look at Cory Barlog when that game came out and hit reviews, and he fucking cried. It resonated because he knew how much fucking pressure, the risk that they took, and thank God that game paid off for him, because if it didn't, holy fuck, could you imagine the damage that could have been done for the God of War franchise moving forward? And this one saying every studio got to deal with that, and you're already looking at Bioware. People are ready to burn these fuckers in there, because of a couple of games. And can you imagine living with that every fucking? I mean, I guess it's like no other job, but still, man, crazy shit.
And real quick, it's like like we've all said it before. Game development, they're artists. It's an art, right? Well, you take that and you compare that to like a music artist, right? Mm-hmm. Not every song is a hit. People go through slums. People, there's a lot of people that don't like a lot of, I don't know, Phil Collins songs or whatever, but he's got a lot of hits, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like it's kind of like falls along the same lines with that.
Well, just one quick reference to that. You look at bands. If you look at bands, one of the main reasons a lot of bands break up in the music industry, and you're only looking at 4 or 5 guys, not 300, mind you, is because of creative differences a lot of times. A lot of times they come out, they're young, they're full of spunk, but as success drives them, they need to top themselves on the next album, and then all of a sudden somebody's ego gets in the way, and they got to be bigger and better than the last one. Don't tell me fucking Hideo Kojima doesn't have a goddamn emo when he's one of the few developers out there that got to make sure his goddamn name is on the box. Right?
Man, I enjoying these rants. Keep them going. Shout out to Alan Savage. I appreciate you, dude. $20 super chat. Hit that like button and subscribe. I appreciate it.
Every major director's that way. I mean, think about how Cliff Bleszinski said that, without him, that Gears wouldn't have been a thing. He didn't have his name all over the box, but he makes sure that everyone knows that was his fucking idea with Epic and shit like that. But it's like, hey, fucking Rod Ferguson was the driving force behind your vision. And he's been sticking with it after he went and did his own thing. He didn't fucking let the ego go to his head. You seen how Cliff's been since he fucking finished. He tried doing his own thing with Lawbreaker, saying, oh, man, everyone wants my game. Fucking no, they didn't. Then he tried doing it again with Radical Heights. He's like, come on, guys. I know everyone wants to play this. No, they didn't.
Well, he made a few basic, huge mistakes. You can't tell me that game wouldn't have done better if it was put on the Xbox, too. You know what I'm saying? Like, just stupid mistakes. Stupid, big-headed mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget the platform that made you a millionaire.
Exactly. He completely bashed the people that put him where he was.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Wilmy, what do you think, man? Developer crunch, all that stuff.
I've got a different perspective on this. My son graduated from Full Sail University last year.
Nice.
Nice.
If some of you guys that follow me on Twitter remember, he interviewed for Rockstar.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
And that is one of the things they actually mentioned to you in the interview process. They tell
about crunch?
That you will work long hours.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's almost a given. But if you after his interview, the weird part is, the interview's not even held by a human.
Really?
Okay.
He talked to a computer.
Wild.
Yeah, there's a lot of places that do digital interviews now.
So if
digital interviews, what? That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Well, wait, so basically, because I've actually kind of done this and know this process, so I'll explain this part if you don't mind, Hood. Is that a lot of places don't do in-person interviews like they did well before. Now, a lot of places, when you submit your resume and they choose you for an interview process, what they do now is they start a digital interview process, basically having you go through an automated system and actually have to record and respond to certain answers and things like that. That is then forwarded to their recruiting department, and they go through and look at your recorded answers, see what they say. And then if you get through their automated check process, then they may schedule you for a face-to-face interview. Or honestly, what they'll do is they'll still do a second digital interview and interview you through webcam and talk to you that way before actually doing anything else further.
That's pretty interesting. I've done some interviews that are kind of similar to that, where they've been face-to-face interviews, but then it's more of a test of your skills. So like they'll pull out a laptop and be like, "Hey, look, here is a test network environment." And this, for me as an engineer, they'll be like, "Hey, look, figure this out, figure the issues are wrong with this, and kind of to test your skills. I've seen similar things like that, but there was at least a person in front of me. Yeah. I think that's wild. That just like it's completely digital and you don't really get to talk to anyone. That's pretty crazy.
And the bad part, if you're taking the humans out of the interview, you really think they give two fucks whether or not, during the interview process, there's not even a human talking to you.
Yeah.
See, when you
how many hours.
When you said that there was no humans doing the interview, I thought you were gonna say like aliens or something, or like who's doing these interviews.
It's all automated up until like your second or third possible interview before they actually sit down and talk to you.
He did the second interview with a lady through Skype, and
to me,
I mean, that was basically a given. You were told up front you had to work long hours.
Yeah. So
to me, there's a couple ways to look at this, right? It's like, first off, do devs get paid well? I've never heard a dev complaining about how much they make. You know what I'm saying?
It depends, dude.
Does it? Well, I've never heard of one complain. Maybe they need to speak out. Because that would be news to me. Put an article about that, and that would be news to me. Because this crap about the dev crunch, this is not news. This has been going on for a while, and I think there's a couple ways to look at it, right? I think it's kind of like with any new business that gets like publicity that's never had publicity before, really. Well, now the video game industry is getting a lot of publicity. There's a lot more stories about devs and stuff. Like in the 90s, was there any of this? I could be wrong, but I don't ever remember any of this. But I think this is something that'll get better with over time. Like Slow-Mo had a good suggestion with the unionization of it, but in my personal experience, unions have done me no justice at all. They work to keep the people's jobs that don't belong there in the first place, in my experience, right? Like they get in trouble and they're constantly not working. There's this excuse and this excuse and this excuse, and then and it was huge for me when I worked as a mail carrier in the post office because so and so can't do their job, and then guess who's got to do it? Me. The rest of us has got to get spread to the rest of us. So that really frustrates me about unions, but I mean, then there's also a way that it kind of bothers me when they look for a pity party, like lock yourselves in a closet crying. Really? Sounds a lot like a submarine to me because we didn't cry. We manned up. We grabbed our nuts. We punched our nuts.
We punched our nuts. What?
When times get tough, you do what you got to do because our country needs us. The gamers need you to make that game. However, you got to make it in your head. Man up. That's all I got to say.
Oh, wow. You punched yourself in your nuts.
Do what you gotta do.
I love both sides of the coin are being shown here, which I like. Right? Awesome. Yeah, man. I mean, this is what debates are. It's not really a debate, but it's showing both sides. Hyena, what do you think, man?
So I'm going to play devil's advocate here, and I'm happy that Noof kind of brought up this point, so I didn't seem like I was the only one with it, seeming like a heartless bastard. But so, like, you look at, I think the point that Noob brought up was that, we as gamers, with a lot of these games, especially ones that are annual releases, you take Forza, for example, and it's a game that comes out every 2 years. You ask 95% of the people in that community, and they will not accept the developers to spend a minute over that 2 year mark. They want to be right on the dime every single 2 years, and I personally think that's fucked up. Like if a lot of people don't understand what Turn 10 or Playground Games actually goes through to get that stuff out for their community, but they do it every single time. When it comes to that stuff, I think we as gamers should not expect something to be to come out that frequently if it's going to cause problems within that studio. I know that they are actually finally taking a year off, and you should see how ecstatic they are because they don't have Microsoft breathing down their neck. They don't have their rampant fucking community breathing down their neck. They're actually going to function like a healthy studio instead of doing whatever, their overlords basically say. I think that when it comes to this stuff, you look at any other industry outside of gaming, you look at the tech industry is notorious for this. You look at how they build phones, for example, and not just in China, but in Taiwan and when they used to in the US and all over the world. The tech community or the tech industry is notorious for insane amounts of crunch. Like when it comes to the tech industry, the crunch that they go through, right? We've all heard of the stories about, Apple and their assembly lines and stuff. And obviously that was when they had more people on the assembly line rather than, machines making this stuff. Nowadays, it's not as big of a problem. But, 10, 15 years ago, the crunch that these people had to go through is something I don't think the gaming industry has even seen before. Like, I don't think so it's weird because, like, I understand both sides, right? I don't like that, the gaming community wants to push over the devs and they want their games when they want it every single time. And that's just not feasible, right? Something's going to crack. This sort of situation is a give or take situation on both sides where I think if people are more vocal with each other, the devs to the community and vice versa, where they want to go with their stuff, it could be better in the long run. You look at something like how Rocket League, I don't know if that's a part of the topic, but Rocket League and that studio Psyonix, they have a very healthy I don't know if mouthpiece is the right word, but like just assembly line on how they treat their own studio and how they act with their community, because it's just very vocal between the two. And you never really hear anything about studios like that complaining about how they work or, the community being pissed off or anything like that, because, they understand each other. It's a mutual sort of thing going on. But when you have it where one side is pushing the other and vice versa, that's when you get all sorts of fuck shit that just it's not going to be a good thing. Sorry.
Yep, you get the time's up gif. Yeah, man. That was a good rant. Who did I miss? Because I don't want to miss someone. I can't see everybody's icon. Did I get everybody for this topic?
I think only I haven't said.
Okay, Bloody. I can't see you. See, you're like off screen here. So
the thing about crunch and what's going on with this is that, everyone did kind of say is that video games have gotten too big for itself as an industry, right? It's grown so significantly large that we need more and more people to do so much more work for little things. You got to think about how many artists are working alone on scenes for little aspects, being able to touch up textures, to be able to touch up scenery, to be able to make sure that everything's properly rendered, that it all looks right, to be able to run all those little things. And think about how some of these studios, it takes so long to render little changes for those for that aspect alone, just for the art. That's not even going into those who do the character modeling and have to do the design for the character, and then have to test the model through the engine and do all the 3D rendering for all that aspect, and then every other little aspect into a game. It's grown so much in the past 2-3 decades since it's really gotten popular, and it's gotten to the point where it's hard to sustain. It's hardly able to really function with the fact of now we also have a culture of people want things right when they want them, because we have such an open and easily available culture nowadays. Yeah. And this isn't the first time this has existed in any industry. For those who don't know, this is really bad. And here's a little culture shock. This is one of the biggest reasons for suicide and issues in Japan. They have one of the most workaholic cultures, and that's why their family and domestic life and a lot of relationships and stuff over there is slowly going away and having trouble, is because of the fact that they have such a hardcore work culture that the workers there would actually sleep at the office and have little nap rooms or sleep under their desks, because of the fact that they're working 100-hour weeks and working 20 hours a day and not even leaving very much. As well as it exists in almost all of their industries out there. It's really prominent in their own gaming industry over there, as well as their for manga or anime producers and stuff like that. It's so bad that we're seeing this on a global scale in multiple different industries, because we've even heard of this in things for like Hollywood and things like that, except people come to expect it from Hollywood because of how much it takes into that. But now in one of the more main mediums that people are active in, it's really starting to show how bad it is nowadays. And it's kind of sad that it's gotten to this point, but at the same time, we as consumers are also the cause of it at the same time. So we have to have, it's a dual-edged sword, is that one, studios and those companies need to stop pushing or doing too much that it's unsustainable for their own people, as well as consumers. We have to fucking be patient and stop wanting everything right goddamn now. Look at why games as a service or any of those big looter shooters like he brought up earlier, is that, you know, people rush through the game so quickly to get to end game, and then when they're at those points, they're like, well, there's nothing to fucking do. It's like, well, no shit, you ran through it all in 2 days on something that took years to make, and it's not planned for another 2-3 months out, because of the fact that they want that what's already there to have enough sustainability, and y'all are complaining about there not being enough.
Good point.
It's
thousands of hours of work goes into something that most of us beat in 20 hours, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then we complain that she's like, well, there's supposed to be more to it, and you're supposed to be updating it, and there's nothing else for me to fucking do for 2 to 3 months. It's like, well, no shit. That was supposed to last me 2 to 3 months, and you ran through it all in a fucking day, and now you're bitching.
Yeah.
No, sit down and shut up.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah, man, developer crunch. If you haven't heard of it, it's a thing going around on social media. I know not everybody is on Twitter, but you know, MK11 just came out. It was a topic there, and so I think it's going to continue to be the topic going forward in gaming. Interesting thoughts there, guys. I loved it.
Let me just say, the best bitching you guys can do is, you know what? Don't spend your energy being negative and going to social media to be negative. Best thing is, if you don't like it, don't play it. If you don't like it, don't buy it. That's as simple as that. You know, move on. And if you don't like the game that you had, there's going to be another one to come along that'll probably kick some ass.
Exactly. Let's talk about real quick. I want to go over Xbox Game Pass, Xbox Games with Gold, and then PS Plus. Real quick, we'll list off all those. I have a specific reason why we're going to be talking about this. So Xbox Game Pass was really good this month. Some of the highlights are Wolfenstein 2, Surviving Mars, and Black Desert Online. Xbox Games with Gold, on the other hand, was kind of subpar in my opinion. We're getting Marooners. It looks like a cell phone game for about $10. The Golf Club. I triggered a lot of people with my video. I said, okay, because they're like, oh my god, the Golf Club, I can't wait to play that. I was like, well, you and
golf
like
is fucking boring.
10 other people are excited to play this game. You know what I'm saying? So Earth Defense Force, which is a 360 title, and then Comic Jumper.
Don't be hating on EDF. EDF is legit.
Okay, whatever, dude. I mean, it's a 360 game, but it's kind of ho-hum month, okay? And then PS Plus games, you're getting Edith Finch and then Overcooked. Overcooked is an interesting title. So the thing that I want to ask you guys, Game Pass is getting better, right? I think it was a good month for Game Pass. What do you guys think? Good month? Yay, nay? Average? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think it's typically a good month. Every month seems to be a good month for Game Pass. They always seem to have at least 1 or 2 games that you're like, man, okay, I'm glad I didn't pick that up. Now I can just play it in Game Pass. Like, it's like a game that launched like 3 or 4 months ago, and now it's in Game Pass. Like Black Desert, which I actually paid for and played for like 6 hours and said, you know, I'm gonna come back and play this, and now it's in Game Pass. I wasted my money.
Mm-hmm. Hey man, I could have told you that waiting on Black Desert would have been the wise choice, because man, that game.
Hey man,
I like that game, but they put out vanilla version of it and not everything that's out on PC. You know, missing 4 or 5 years worth of stuff.
Yeah,
not worth
4 or 5 years. Damn,
that's a lot of stuff.
Didn't they say they were going to eventually add all that content in, right?
Yeah, they said they were going to eventually do it, but it's just like, look, you have all this stuff on PC. Why are you going to go back and give us vanilla, even if it's on another console? It's easier just to work with what you're already working with than bringing back something that's years old.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just for someone that doesn't play on PC. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's with a lot of the games that are on PC that come to console. Like I remember there was a time Smite on the Xbox was a good 4 patch, like a month behind. They're to the point at PC where it's like basically the same time now with these updates, right? So I mean that does improve over time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the thing is, with Smite, when that came out, again, they were a month or 2 months behind, right? They were keeping it staggered for a reason while they tested everything out. You're talking about something that is years old. And there's a lot of people who are trying to play it on the or who are playing it on console because they're just like, oh, this is cool. This could work good on console coming from PC. And they're like, wow, this is missing a lot.
So like your biggest, well, how often do they update that game on PC? Because I think that's the thing where it comes out with. I know what you're saying. You're saying like, damn, at least make it like a 6 month, 6 months behind or something, like 4 years or whatever you're saying. That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
honestly, with Xbox Game Pass this month specifically, Wolfenstein 2 is an instant cop. Like anybody that hasn't played Wolfenstein at this point,
I'm working on the first one right now.
You
have no reason to not be playing the Wolfenstein series. Bethesda's been giving a lot of love to Game Pass, but now you have both Old Blood, New Order, Old Blood, New Order, and now New Colossus all in there. You can play the whole series right now in Game Pass.
Like
for those who don't have it, $1 for 3 fucking months. You are doing yourself a disservice.
Man, even if you get it at the standard price, $10, you're still making a killing. I gotta make this video.
When the New Order dropped in Game Pass, I'm like, Wolfenstein was something I always wanted to check out, and I played that game. I'm like, dude, why the fuck did I not play this earlier? This game is so cool. And so after that, like, the new Colossus was instantly on my radar. Didn't pick it up because I didn't have the money for it, but now that it's in Game Pass, I'm like, dude, hey, you guys, if nobody's played Wolfenstein, check these games out in Game Pass. They're so good. And last month, Prey was in there. Prey was something I wanted to get, another Bethesda published game. And I'm starting to play. I'm playing through it right now. Also fantastic. There's just so many good games in Game Pass right now that anybody that hasn't subscribed already, I don't know what you guys are doing. And I'm telling you right now,
you can't keep up with Game Pass right now. No, like I got Smite that takes up a lot of my time. I got Sea of Thieves that takes up a lot of my time, and I'm trying to mix in all these damn Game Pass games that they keep throwing in there, and I can't do it. I'm falling farther and farther behind. And I got someone saying Rumple Foreskin in the chat. A lot of people say that Rumple. And I kind of understand what you're saying, but Gold is eventually going to get combined with Game Pass. So that's one thing. And then people are going to look at that negatively and say, well, the Xbox make you pay for 2 when you only need 1.
I do want to get into that because that's the reason why I'm bringing this up, okay? Because Game Pass Ultimate is a thing now, right? So the thing that I've been talking about, and this is this discussion that I want to have because it's a good discussion because I've had a lot of people in the comment section say they're going to come find me in real life because I said that they're paying for these games that are free. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is are we paying for these games with gold, or are we getting them for free? That's the first topic of discussion. And why are the PC people getting this shit for free? They're getting a pass on everything. See, the thing is my argument here is the reason why Xbox had to start up this whole Xbox games with gold. First of all, wasn't PlayStation doing it first? So they had to follow suit there. They weren't doing it first.
That is true. That is true.
It is true, right?
Yeah, no, they did PlayStation Plus back on the PS3 era.
Okay, so it was a combination of that, and then also they need to provide value for why you're paying for your subscription.
It's something you had to subscribe to, right? PlayStation Plus, you had to subscribe to it, correct?
Yes.
Someone say correct. Someone say correct. Thank you. Okay, continue.
Amen, brother.
Let's lay the foundation. Okay, continue, Salty.
I was confused as hell. All right. So bottom line is PC players are getting all the benefits of Xbox Live without paying for subscriptions. And then there's a paywall in between free-to-play games which Xbox still has that Nintendo doesn't have, which PlayStation doesn't have. So my main discussion piece here is if your quality goes down on your Xbox games with gold so much that it's almost even pointless at this point, then it kind of undercuts the whole Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, because you're combining those and saying you're getting a deal, but in actuality you're not. I just want to know if this needs to change going forward. Are you guys okay with it? Because there's a lot of people that said, well, damn, I've been paying for Xbox Live since the dawn of time, and I'm okay with it. It's just like, well, just because you've been paying for something doesn't mean you need to continue to pay for it. You're a customer, and you need to find value in a subscription service. That's what I'm saying. So Xbox is pushing Game Pass as their baby now. You know, that's their service. That's why it's not just a coincidence that they're combining these two services, because eventually people would catch on that they're getting bent over. You know what I'm saying? So let's hear from you guys. I want to hear someone that's actually for the current system, Xbox games with gold, the current subscription model. You're okay with paying and not having PC players. Who's on that side of the argument, first of all?
Well, I kind of am.
All right, Noof, start it up.
I kind of am. Look, okay. I think it sucks that PC guys get it for free, but here's the deal. There's a lot more PC guys out there with the access to PC than there ever is Xbox dudes, right?
Yeah.
They've gotten so used to getting stuff for free. I always say it's very hard when you transition from a free model to go to a paid model, because you're automatically going to lose customers. Now, it's the other way around. If you start it with a paid model and you go back to a free model, you're going to just keep gaining. You know what I mean? There's a bigger win if you start it, right? Like, for example, I'll go back to this classic. PlayStation, right? They gave the online free with the PlayStation 3. That's what you had. And they had everybody had PlayStation, right? And you had the online, and that was a big bragging point for years. Sony knew they were missing the boat. Sony was like, man, Microsoft is making a killing. They're getting money coming into Yin Yang from the Xbox Live Gold members, and we're not getting fucking shit for our stuff, right? So what do we do? How do you entice a player to come over? There's only one thing you can do. Let's give them the service that's throwing the free games, right? Let's give them the free games, see how many people we can entice over, right? So, yeah, it started to work. Gradually, more people were starting to pick up PlayStation Plus, blah, 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 through the end of the PS3 generation. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people went into the PS4 generation thinking that the online was still free and got fucked in the ass. They didn't know that. They picked up their system, went home, went, what the fuck? I know people for a fact that went, what the fuck happened? Because I can't play. I got to buy a fucking subscription now, right? So they basically threw in the games, and that's how they copped it out. Microsoft is in a scenario where they always charge, right? So games at gold, to be honest, you kind of are getting the games for free, because they didn't have to give us diddly squat. They still don't to this day, but they kind of felt the pressure because Sony was giving them away. We should do the same. Now, actually, games at gold is a better value in a sense, because Sony cut out the Vita games, they put out the PS3, and they don't have back compat, so you're left with getting whatever they give you. Now, mind you, their selection's been a lot better, but you also notice how PlayStation Now is actually improving exponentially. Now that Game Pass started to get popular, it even went to instead of just streaming, now you can download your games. Well, who started that shit, right? So it's one of those things. I don't agree with the fucking PC shit at all, but I'm not a PC guy. There's nothing I can do about it, and Microsoft is not the kind of company that goes, yeah, let's just give these guys everything for free. Like, fuck's sakes, they're making this stupid ass SAD edition console and charging us up the yin yang for that. It's like, come on, dude, who the fuck wants an old Xbox One S with no disk drive in this day and age, and you're going to charge them like premium for the fucking console? Like, give me a break. Like, Microsoft is Looney Tunes. They're charging almost $200 Canada for the fucking Elite controller. Like, I am sorry, but who are you kidding here, Microsoft? Like, get your fucking shit out of the pine, man, and start like cutting us some slack. You know, they give us, when they give us free shit, it's shit that you don't even want, right? But they screw us up the ass for everything else. But I'm probably going off on a totally different rant. I don't know where I'm going even anymore. But PC, there's nothing we can do about it. Nobody in this, most of us on this fucking panel don't give a rat's diddly ding about PC. You know, they're going to bitch and complain about everything anyway. And you know what? You got to give them to them for free on PC, Salty, because you know why? Because if you fucking don't, they're going to pirate the fucking shit out of it anyway. That's what they fucking do. They kill the industry, those bitches. They're always hacking. They're always modding. They're always fucking everything up. That's why I fucking big middle finger to you right there, because fuckers driving the industry down, not bringing it up. You're always bitching about Steam now and fucking the Epic Store. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, really? You think Xbox players are bad? God damn it.
Well, I do have, okay. This is where
You got me hype on that one.
This is where I disagree. So, like, if you have Xbox, what is it, Silver? Is that the unpaid one, right?
Yeah.
Do you get any games with that? No. So if look, yeah, you may have started paying for Xbox Gold, Xbox Live Gold with no games, but now you get games. You're still paying for those games because as soon as you stop paying for Xbox Live, you're not getting any more games.
Right.
So it is a part of the package. You pay for this. We're also giving you some games in there. Not technically giving is really the wrong word, because if you stop paying, we're not giving you any games anymore. It's really that process. Right. Although it came a different way for us than for the PlayStation gamer. It's still you paying for a service. Now, my biggest issue, and I'll say this about just overall with Microsoft, my biggest issue with them and just Xbox Game Studios, all of it, is that PC players are getting all kinds of benefits, not just not paying for Xbox Live, but they're getting games that aren't coming to Xbox. Gears Tactics. I know everyone says, "Oh, look, Gears Tactics coming to Xbox." All right, well, where's the announcement at? When's it happening? They talked about Gears Tactics multiple times, and they've had ample opportunity to say it's coming to the Xbox console, but at no point have they actually done that. Age of Empires. There are all kinds of games they put out on PC, but they don't put them on Xbox. And it at some point you're going to have to be like, I mean, I know that there's the whole mentality of like, we're just a small minority of hardcore gamers, and we can't really move the needle. But I'm sorry, like you have to speak up. You go on Twitter, tag Phil, tag Matt Booty, tag somebody, and be like, look, this bullshit's gotta stop, because seriously, like, you're gonna start losing people to go to
what needs to stop? I zoned out. What needs to stop?
The PC, like catering to the PC crowds and stuff, right?
Yeah, okay. All that stuff is like paying for Xbox Live when they don't have to pay for Xbox Live is bullshit.
Yeah, because
getting games that
I think this is just like kind of they're starting up the engine. And I think they're gonna, combine PC and Xbox even more than what we see. Like we can all see Xbox and PC is kind of becoming one, right? Like, does anyone disagree with that? If you do, I think you're wrong. But like that's obviously where they're going with this, right? And this is just the start of the engine. So obviously, when anything new happens with any fucking thing, people fucking raise their torches because it's fucking new. Oh my god, this is new. Something's new happening. Let's raise our torches. Let's fight against it, because people are afraid of change.
Okay,
right?
so Titan, so they're becoming one.
It's natural human reaction.
Go ahead. They're becoming one. So all the games that we get, PC gets, right?
Yeah.
And all the games that PC gets, Xbox gets, right?
Well, I mean, eventually. Eventually, yeah. Absolutely, eventually. What do you mean you won?
We don't know that.
No, you don't. Yeah, you don't. That's not a correct statement.
No, but that's the way I think.
Titan's not wrong. There is the eventuality that it will come over, because if they didn't, they wouldn't put open keyboard and mouse support on
exactly.
They wouldn't have
if that is the case, why couldn't they just said that right when they announced keyboard support for Xbox? And by the way,
their marketing is terrible. That's the first.
No. The marketing is not terrible. They have the money. It's the message that the marketing is not getting across. And right now,
it's still bad marketing.
But it's the message that's the fault. But right now I was like, we need to see what games they have. I think that we're going to see Age of Empires come over at some point, as well as right now we're going to see
that as well.
Gears Tactics is going to be the second one to come out. Right now it's going to come out on PC first. Age of Empires has always been a PC thing. Gears Tactics is their Gears game to PC. But I think that those are going to be some of the first games that we're going to see come over that are keyboard enabled specifically on Xbox to bring those PC games over to the console.
And here's the thing, too. It's like, all right, if every single PC game doesn't come to Xbox, is that a big deal? No. Because, like how many fucking random stupid PC games are out there that we don't even... Exactly. Like, I don't care to see Shower with Your Dad or whatever the hell on Xbox. I don't care about that crap.
Damn it, Titan, I love those random stupid PC games. I want to shower with my dad for. I want to play it on my Xbox, damn it. And if I want to play those stupid dumb games, their stupid walking simulators, then yeah, let's do it. Yep. On my Xbox. Like,
I think that's just a little unreasonable.
Drago, you're right. Who doesn't want to play Watch with My Dad Simulator? Come on now.
When it comes to this stuff about Xbox Live Gold and stuff, I've always been of the opinion that paying for online period is bullshit. It doesn't matter if it PC, console, mobile. It doesn't matter, right? Obviously, the PC doesn't have to, and that. It's kind of like it's a cause and effect. They said fuck you 15 plus years ago, and they're reaping the benefits because of it. But the problem with the console side, and this doesn't just pertain to Xbox, it goes to Nintendo and Sony as well, is that not enough people are saying fuck you. And I highly doubt that it's ever going to get to the point that to where it becomes free, because there is a huge backlash. The only thing that I can see that would make them drop the paywall is Game Pass, and I'm going to explain why. The revenue that Game Pass makes has to be so fucking huge, it'll subvert the revenue they're making from Xbox Live Gold. The moment that happens, where they see their two revenue lines cross, I think that's when they're going to drop the paywall, because they don't need it anymore. They don't need that revenue stream, because they're trying to divert everything straight to Game Pass.
So lost me a little bit there. There's no, I mean,
hang on, don't forget the fact that yes, we're talking about what it's set up, but also don't forget that that's what paid for the security and the infrastructure that we have.
That's a good point.
Early on, is that if we did not have these paid servers, we would be living like Sony was last gen.
I disagree.
Crash isn't. No.
Yeah,
no.
I don't know.
You do not.
I disagree. I disagree only because Microsoft's server infrastructure has always been better than Sony's. Always.
Right, yes. But you're talking about a dedicated.
They're not dead. That's the problem. Xbox online. With online gaming, these servers aren't actually dedicated. Most of your instances are still peer to peer.
Tell them how
you're not getting dedicated servers to begin with.
No, what paid for Azure servers?
The entire
what paid for Azure servers?
Has to go through its server farm. Yes, a lot of it is still peer to peer connection. But that also comes from third party support, depending on where it is.
And that's a developer thing too.
All right. Yeah. Here, let me tag in. Let me tag in real quick. So here's the deal with subscription services, which this is. What worked 10 years ago doesn't mean it's going to work today. And the thing is like with subscription services, popular ones like Netflix. They had to change, right? The way they started is not the way they are today, right? They need to provide different value for different times. If the consumer base needs a certain thing to stay on board, then that's what they need to do. So just because Microsoft was doing certain things 10 years ago, and that's fine, and you, as a consumer, you're fed these things and then you accept them, that's fine. You could think about security and infrastructure and all that other stuff. That's fine. That's good. That's value and all that other stuff. But when the PC crowd is getting so many benefits for free and being catered to, and they're not being forced to follow the same rules, it just kind of just spits in the face of the consumer base of your loyal console players, your general audience. You're saying, we're not going to charge the PC players, and then some of these console guys are okay with it. It's just, I'm not okay with that. That's like,
so many other factors though that you're leaving out.
But
even
Titan, what you were saying is we're going into a thing where Xbox is PC and PC is Xbox, right? There's very little divide there now with the way that Xbox is going. So if that's the case, and there's so little divide. Mouse and keyboard support is put on Xbox. You have that over at PC. They have Xbox Live. They're putting Xbox Live on mobile. They're doing this in xCloud, and games are going to PC day and date. Halo Infinite's going to drop day and date on PC. So if you're treating everything the same, Xbox is PC and PC is Xbox,
are you going to have to buy Halo?
Why is there a double standard for?
Are you going to have to buy Halo Infinite if you own a PC and not Xbox Live Gold?
So what they're gonna have to buy if you have Halo Infinite on the PC, if you have Halo Infinite on the PC, you get it day and date, and you can play against Xbox players, and you do not. They're gonna put Game Pass on PC as well.
Yeah,
so you get all the benefits.
Game Pass. That's all that matters. If you have Game Pass,
no, you can buy the game. You can buy
have Game, or you can buy the game.
No,
yes.
Titan.
Or
let
you can
me
buy the
speak
game.
here. Your own words. Xbox is PC and PC is Xbox, so don't treat them differently.
Close over time. Yes.
Don't treat them differently. Don't treat them differently. If you're going to provide all the benefits on PC, either do one or another. Charge the PC players or don't charge the console players.
PC players will be getting charged. They're either going to have to buy the game or subscribe to Game Pass.
Okay, and so with that, this is why Game Pass is so important. Microsoft is getting only one single revenue stream from Xbox Live Gold, and that's coming straight from the consoles. They're getting, or presumably they will be getting, several revenue streams from Game Pass alone. You have the console, you have mobile, you have PC. That much amount of revenue streams could enable the fact that they could drop gold because they won't need it anymore. Their revenue streams from mobile, PC, and Xbox will completely subvert the revenue stream they're getting from console. Like,
I can see that happening, but that's not going to happen where they can actually say, you know what, we don't need the paywall for Xbox Live anymore because Game Pass is that high. That's not going to happen until they reach that point where they said this in inside investor calls with their investors, where they want they want to drop a AAA game every quarter. Like, in order to do that, they need to add another seven developers, and then those games aren't going to start rolling out anytime soon. So we're looking at 2022, 2023 before they really reach that point where the engine is going and they've got some speed, and that's just not going to happen anytime soon. So really, to wait, it's 2019 now, to wait years for them to drop the paywall, meanwhile PC is still getting more benefits. That's kind of, to me, that's an untenable situation.
But if you look at it this way, the paywall will never be dropped if they're combining Xbox Live and Game Pass, right?
Well,
then it's technically never dropped.
That's their plan right now, to combine them.
Absolutely.
So you can, and it's a smart business plan. But what I'm trying to say is, you don't have to necessarily just say, hey, we're just going to get rid of the pay to be on Xbox Live. If you want to continue this gold status, that's fine. Keep that tier where people can pay for that if they want the games every month. Absolutely. And then drop the paywall for free-to-play games and online, and have that as your silver tier. And then you could have a bronze tier. You could have all kinds of different tiers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You don't have to totally get rid of your revenue.
Yeah, people won't say that's confusing, quote unquote, because Xbox is coming out with 2 systems, and that's too confusing.
And if you get confused by that, you got to.
Yeah, exactly.
What ultimately happened here, guys, and this is what saved the Xbox division, like it or not. It was, when Xbox started taking a hit, especially this gen, somewhere along the line, the light switch went on, and they realized that, the console gaming isn't making them the bucks that they could be making, right? At the end of the day, it's all about profit share. It's all about getting bigger and better, right? When Microsoft came into the gaming trend, it was about console, but the beast in the industry has changed exponentially since then. I mean, ask Nintendo about changes, right? But like Phil, in order to keep his fucking job and to save face in front of Satya, acting like I know exactly what happened here, but like I'm willing to bet you any money he had to go in with a good story. And again, where they started invest when you can almost see the writing on the wall, but they started throwing these billions of dollars at these all of those servers and all of the cloud tech and all of this shit. You kind of knew they ain't doing this for nothing, right? They want to get their money back, and they also think they can make a pile of money doing it. And it's pretty simple. They cut out the middleman. They cut out the tech component. They cut out needing to have certain hardware. It's only the hardcore guys that are going and buying the big PCs, the real expensive ones. Only the hardcore guys giving a rat's ass if you got an Xbox One S over an Xbox One S. You know what I mean? Like we're the guys preaching, we're the guys doing the podcast. But you know what? We're not the bread and butter. We're the hardcore guys who buy the new games. But you know what? There's a massive market out there who gives no rat's fuck about any of the stuff we're probably talking about. They just want to play games, and that's where they're going. And that's how Phil is keeping his job, because he probably went into Satya and said, you know what, Satya, I think I know a way that we can turn this ship around, because it was pretty much sinking by the time fucking Matrick left it. It wasn't going in the right direction for Xbox. No new games in development. Hardware stagnating. PlayStation kicking its ass left, right, and center. So I think we know why we're at where we're at. You either kind of accept it and go with it, but the bottom line is there's no more Xbox and PC. They're not really a separate entity anymore. It sucks to say. It's kind of like they're one and the same. They're built around a lot of the same fucking hardware, and like I said, Game Pass is everywhere. Game Pass has essentially become fucking Xbox, more or less, because they're going to put it on everything. They want it everywhere because that's where the bread and butter is, and fans are going to eat it up. They're going to get all these games for cheap, and no one's going to give a rat's dink except for idiots like old school fucking Noof Nukem here that cares a rat's ass where I'm actually playing my games at. So that's the way it is.
Hey, Wilmy's back. You there, my dude?
I am here.
All right, so what do you think of this whole thing, paying for Xbox Live Gold? You've been a gamer for a while. Do you think there's a double standard for PC players that play Xbox, and Xbox is PC and PC is Xbox? I don't know how much you heard of it, but what do you think of that whole thing?
It doesn't really bother me that much, to be honest.
Okay.
I've been on live since it was a beta.
Okay.
That really dated my ass, didn't it? And I think they're just trying to pull in more PC players. I think their player base is a lot higher for the Xbox. They are trying to corner PC. They want to compete with Steam. And now they've got Epic they're going to have to compete with.
So you're okay with it then, huh?
Yeah, Wilmy's okay with it because it doesn't affect him, right, Wilmy? Like, you're not affected by this paywall because
it does affect him, though. He's paying.
It
for
does
Xbox
not affect
Live.
him in any way. It does not affect any of us in any way. The only people it affects is people in Podunk, wherever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is such a small minority of people, probably not even. It's a fraction of 1% of the gamers that this paywall, quote unquote, actually affects.
I mean, it affects everybody because we pay for it. But anyway, agree to disagree, I guess. We'll move on to the next topic because we've been on that for a while. Let's talk about the Borderlands 3 reveal. It's exciting for everybody. I was digging the reveal, man. I love it. The graphics look amazing, and people are kind of are confused how these kind of graphics can look better. But man, it looked crispy to me. There's some tidbits that were put out there which I took home, and the main story is going to take about 30 hours if rushed. The loot is not going to be where everybody's fighting over the loot. So if you want to play with random people online, it's going to be where if your loot drops, only you can pick it up, which I like. They're aiming for 60 frames per second mode on the Xbox One X, which is awesome. So you're going to be able to choose either the 4K mode or 1080 60, which is cool. There's some issues with the communication when it comes to microtransactions. At first, they were like, nah, there's no microtransactions, but come to find out, they were just saying there's no loot boxes or premium currency, but they will have cosmetics that you can buy. So let's talk about Borderlands 3. You guys excited? Let's go to Slow-Mo. I know you're a big fan of this type of game. What did you think of the reveal and all the things that you heard a couple days ago?
Man, I saw everything I wanted to see.
Yeah,
I saw them add some of the normal quality of life things that it's been a while since Borderlands 2. So I know I saw a lot of people commenting like, why are people so excited about mantling and sliding? I'm like, because you couldn't do that in the previous games, and we're glad we got that now. It still has a lot of and I've said this before about Borderlands 2. I think that game stands up to some of these loot shooters even today, and that game came out in 2012. It has some of the best build diversity, some of the best guns, and just overall great co-op gameplay that I've ever seen. It's one of my favorite games. So for me, this game seems to have captured, from what I saw from the gameplay, seems to have captured everything that those previous games still had, and it's still giving us some more. I love the fact that I've already pre-ordered the Super Deluxe edition, so I'm all in. But they're talking about having 4 DLCs again, and I love that old school feel of back in the day when you would get DLC and it was real DLC. Like it was like a good meaty 15-20 hour content, like an actual story to it. It wasn't just here's a couple of strikes, a couple of skins, and we're charging you $20 for it. $30 for basically nothing. The stuff they already cut out of the game. No. Borderlands gives you real content, and they're going to come out with 4 of them, and I'm all in. I'm all ready for it. The Vault Hunters look amazing. I'm already going to use Amara. I already know that's going to be the first one I'm rolling with. And I can't wait, man. I've been playing through. I bought the Borderlands Game of the Year edition. Last night I just completed the main campaign, and I'm gonna start getting into the DLC. I'm at about level 33 with Lilith, the Siren Lilith, and when I get done with that one, I'm going to play the pre-sequel or the Handsome Collection again. I'm going to go through the first Borderlands 2 again, and if I have the time, I might actually do Tales of the Borderlands just to top it off. So I'm a big Borderlands fan, and I can't wait.
It's Slow-Mo. Is it true if you get the deluxe edition, you get a free clap trap, but if you get the regular one, you just get the clap?
Jeez.
You will not get that anywhere other than TSGP, people. Everybody.
Oh man, I hope that's not the case, yo. Because
everybody's like, "Fuck the regular edition."
Definitely not getting the regular now, man.
No, I'm definitely not getting the regular either, man.
This game is huge hype, guys. Like when they first revealed this, I've been waiting so many years for Borderlands 3 to get announced. When they first showed it at what was it? Not DICE. It was some event that's in San Francisco. Some sort of build for devs. I forget. It's on the tip of my tongue, but they showed a tech demo of it back in 2015.
I remember that.
Yeah, and back then I'm just like, dude, it's almost fucking here. And obviously not. We had to wait 4 more years for the announcement, but nonetheless, when they actually announced Borderlands 3, I had my best friend hitting me up saying, dude, did you see the news? I had my dad running downstairs telling me that they announced Borderlands 3. I had my grandfather telling me that they announced the whole fucking family was just extremely excited. Borderlands 3 or Borderlands in general. I know that people know that I'm not a looter shooter sort of fan, but Borderlands is something I can always get behind. This sort of gameplay it's intoxicating. I really can't describe it. I spent many hours on the first Borderlands game alone with my best friend, and now that they're talking about how it might be co-op with PC, which will be awesome for me and my best friend. There's just so many different things that they've added in this game that I saw from their gameplay from, I think GameSpot did a thing on it 2 days ago. The way that you can change the ammo type, where this guy has a normal handgun pistol, and then he swaps to a different ammo type, and he's shooting fucking rockets from the damn thing. I'm like, dude, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
They added a lot of fan favorite players back to the game. Freaking Maya with her hood, she looks dope as hell. There's just so many cool things in this game. I'm really excited for, and I keep hearing, from a lot of credible people that there is some exciting news for Xbox specifically with Borderlands 3. And I'm telling you, if it comes to Game Pass, that is going to be one of the best months of Game Pass, period. Like, wow. Dude, like I don't have a problem paying $6 for the full fucking game anyways, but if I don't have to, that I won't. But they showed a lot of good stuff with Borderlands 3 to a few days ago, specifically with their new gameplay trailer. A lot of good stuff.
I forgot to say hi to Rumple Foreskin, but hey, dude, Borderlands makes my you know what tingle. That's cool.
You can say that, Salty.
We've been saying
Can I say nipples? Hey, they show Mario nipples, so I guess I can say nipples, right?
I looked down and looked at the word you dodged.
Yeah, because you could fill in the blank, right? People are listening. They're like, "Holy shit, what did the guy say?" I mean, it was rough.
Oh, is that where you're going with that? Okay.
I also got some like Mass Effect vibes from it when they were in their spaceship, and like how you can go to different planets and stuff. And yeah, I find that super cool. That was one of the things that I really loved about Mass Effect.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I needed for this game. So first of all, I need diversification with like the abilities. I wanted them to do different things, and like the trailer, the gameplay has shown me all those things. Because let's be honest, if we had the same location that we've had in the other games, it's kind of hard to feel like it's a different game. So the fact that they're changing the environments and stuff, and I think this is going to be big with Rage as well, the different biomes. I think it's important to change the color schemes up, because if you have all the same color, like brownish, like desert, it kind of gets old after a while. I'm excited for it. I saw FC in the chat. He said he's kind of over the looter shooter thing, and that's me too. But like the Borderlands situation, it kind of takes us back, like Slow-Mo was saying, to like the old feel. You know what I'm saying? Borderlands is a different type of game. It kind of takes you back, you know what I'm saying? It's not like the Destiny or like the Division things. You're not going to be
it
like,
actually has a good story.
Yeah, the story is good, and it's just a different feel, so it's a different style, and I look forward to it. Specifically, I think it's going to do extremely well this year, man. Do you guys what else is coming out this year, man? There's so many good games.
Forgot to mention, they have this new thing they're doing called the Borderlands Echo Cast for Twitch. So what that means is, like, let's say if you're watching a Twitch streamer play, you can look at his loadout, you can look at his build, how he's spec'd out his character. And if you're like, wow, like he's really like wrecking all these enemies, I want to know what he's doing. You can actually look at, it's like an extension that is added to Twitch, and you can like pull it up and see everything that he's using, the guns that he's using, the shield, the mod, all that other stuff. It's all in there. And I think they even started yesterday when a lot of the content creators were testing the game out on beta. They were if they get drops, there's a random chance if you have your Shift account attached to link to your Twitch account, there's a random chance the same weapons they're getting, you will get too. So when you get the game and you load in, you can have like a nice little stash of weapons already, ready for you. I think it's like that forward thinking and understanding that millions of people watched people play games and Twitch streamers and stuff like that. That's very smart. It's very smart way of developing your game and getting your community involved. I think a lot of other games might start picking that up too.
Yeah, there's a thing going on with Sea of Thieves on Mixer. You can get if you watch there's a certain amount of PvP streams you have to watch, but you can get some loot there as well. So it's cool that they're doing this interactivity stuff with streamers and gamers and get rewards for your game. I think that's the future going forward. Plus, like, the Google Stadia, that's kind of a joke right now, but like the interaction there where you can join streamers and play with them immediately, like that's stuff looking forward. Like this, it's pretty cool. I like it.
And people forget a couple of really cool facts about Borderlands, folks. And one, it's one of the very few games that you can play 4-player online co-op. Yes, Destiny did it after the fact. But how many games can you play first-person shooter with buddies of 4 and rock and roll? I mean, that shit's pretty cool, right? I mean, the stylized graphics are awesome. They never really get old. Borderlands is one of those games that will still look pretty good 20 years from now compared to some games that strive for ultra realism. And you look at them and go, oh my God, that game really aged bad. Well, cel-shaded graphics technically don't age as bad as the rest of the games. Case in point, you go back to a game like Zelda the Wind Waker. Still looks like a pretty cool Zelda, but you can't say that for all of them. But look, outside of that too, Borderlands, one of the catches is finding that new weapon, finding that really cool badass gun, and feeling like an absolute badass while you're playing it. And like you said, not to mention it's got a good story thrown in there for good measure. Borderlands is a pretty damn solid game. Trust me, if you don't think you're a good fan of looter shooters, maybe you played Borderlands and don't really care for it. Okay, fair enough. But if you haven't played Borderlands and you're basing this on other looter shooters, I suggest you go back and at least give Borderlands a try. Trust me, I think you might get caught in the hook, line, and sinker, so to speak, because it's a pretty damn good game, and I'm going to pick up number 3. I'm excited for it. It looks way better than ever. I'm sure they got another hit, and it doesn't feel like a broken, messy, shit-ass game like some other games. But last year were pretty damn good. I would hopefully the Bethesda, does right, and is a Gearbox, right? Gearbox doing it. And hopefully,
if Bethesda did
bring
it,
a solid
Fallout 76. So yeah,
right. It was 2K, right? Yeah, my bad.
Being anywhere near a Borderlands,
not Bethesda. 2K and Gearbox. I'm sure they'll do a damn good job with it. It's been a while, so I can't wait to jump back into that world. Actually, there's a bunch of worlds now too, which is cool.
Yep. Let's move on to the next topic. It's one of the main meat potato topics of the evening. Let's talk about the PS5. There's some rumors out there of secret sauce going on.
Yeah.
Secret
Let's talk
sauce.
about it.
Makes me want to go to get a Big Mac. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Shout out to
Billy Diddy, I got secret sauce, but we're leaving it there.
I knew the secret sauce was gonna, stem into there. So secret
You
sauce.
think that sauce is secret? Shit.
Didn't they talk about secret sauce
It
before?
is if you can't find it, dear Titan.
So PS5 dev kit rumors are out there, and nearly 13 teraflops, flippity flops of GPU power, claims an insider. So we're going to talk about that. 13 teraflops. That's a lot of flops, right?
For sure. I believe that. For sure.
You believe that?
Kit,
I don't know about
the
that.
dev kit, sure.
Yeah. All right. So
kit.
the dev kits are historically overjuiced, right, than the actual products. So that we could almost believe that. I think the PS5 is going to be coming in at probably 10 teraflops. Probably. That's been my guess.
13. Salty, if the dev kit is 13, you can guarantee it's like the max, the real it's gonna come out at is like 11, 10. That's
so. Let's talk about this rumor first, and then we'll get into the secret sauce. You know what I'm saying? We'll save that to the finale. So what do you guys think about the flops, the flippity flops? What do you think the power of the GPU is going to be in the PS5? Let's start with our tech dude, Hyena Den. What do you think, man? 13 teraflops. Do you think that that's going to be possible with that price point that's rumored, the $500 or $400? Where are you at with the price and the flops, the flippity flops?
Okay. The price is tangent on, how powerful the machine is and what it has inside of it. But the price isn't my concern with this. If it's going to be the alleged 13 teraflop beast, you're looking at something that they better have a kick-ass cooling solution in that motherfucker, because if they don't, that thing's overheating like nobody's business. And that's why I'm still hellbent on saying, the next Xbox Anaconda, I don't think it's going to be anywhere over 12. Just from cooling solution on its own, like the same vapor chamber cooling solution that we have in our Xbox One X's. For a console that is allegedly that powerful, I don't think that cooling solution is going to be good enough. not with the type of fan that they have in it. They're going to need
I don't
something.
know. I could debate you on this.
They're going to need something much more advanced. Because look, they're saying that they're moving to a die shrinkage, right? They're going to move to a 7 nanometer node.
Yes.
You know, when you shrink the die down and you know you pack even more little transistors onto the SoC, there's efficiencies. You get efficiencies with it. The stuff isn't going to run as hot as a result, but that you're looking at percentiles of it making a difference. It's not going to be something magical that's going to make your console a beast. I don't think with the PlayStation 5 specifically, I see it being maybe less than 10, like maybe somewhere north of the high end of like 9.8 ish. And this is all going off of the fact that Digital Foundry was talking to I forget what his name was, like AppySack or whatever. He does
AppySack.
code.
What's his name?
I think it's AppySack.
It's called Knapsack.
Okay.
And he breaks down chip stuff before it's even revealed to the public. Mm-hmm. And one of the things was an SoC called Gonzalo, and they found out that this is running, it's a GPU that's running at it's Navi 10 Lite, and it's running at 1800 megahertz, right? If you do simple math, there is a calculation that you can put into your calculator and find out. You can figure out what the teraflop count is by simple math. And if you put the 1800 megahertz into your calculation, and if we were to assume that the PlayStation 5 had 40 CUs, that puts it at around 9.2 teraflops. But this is all going under the fact that everybody's assuming that the PlayStation 5 is going to have 56 to 64 compute units. With that amount of compute units, it does get to the 13 teraflop count, but you're never going to see that much in any console because that's not how yields work on the assembly line. Like they're basic. What yields are is they take chips, and you're looking at a lot of transistors and stuff, right? And the yields is where they're basically trying to fit in with their margins, and a lot of the parts are throwaway parts. You're like with the Xbox One X, it was at, I think it was 40 CUs, and the PS4 Pro was at 40 CUs as well. They never reached that peak because it's not efficient on assembly. I broke it down in an entirely separate video. I'm butchering the explanation here, but if you watch the video, it'll make sense. I don't think the PlayStation 5 is going to be anywhere north of 10 teraflops, and I certainly do not believe that Anaconda is going to be anywhere over 12. Like, you'd have to be out of your mind to believe that Anaconda could get, like, people are thinking it's going to be a 16 teraflop beast, and it's like no, that doesn't, that's not how that is not how technology
Hyena,
works.
this whole rant is pissing me off because you're making a lot of sense, but then you're fumbling the ball.
You're fumbling at the goal line.
You're fumbling at the fucking goal line. You're bringing up a lot of great points. You're bringing up a lot about the heat dissipation, right? And that's huge. You guys thought your PlayStation 4 was loud? Well, guess the fuck what? If they don't upgrade the fucking the vapor cooled chamber like the Xbox One X already has, then guess what the fuck is gonna happen with that? It's gonna melt down. Anyways, but you, other than the heat dissipation, you fumbled the ball, in my opinion, when you went on about, because the PlayStation, we should have heard something. Let me know if I'm wrong, Hyena. We should have heard something about PlayStation, like getting a patent on a new cooling system. Am I right? Because a fan ain't doing it anymore. Can you agree upon that?
I haven't heard of any patents or leaks regarding their cooling solution. I don't know what they're. That's the problem.
Exactly. That's a red flag. That's a red flag that's saying this thing ain't gonna be the beast. Everyone, like you. It's under 10, right? Like, we'll agree. We'll say it's under 10.
I mean, that's just my assumption. The problem that I have with the leak, the leaks for the PlayStation 5, and the same can be said for Anaconda, is they don't tell me enough. They're telling me exactly what was already assumed a year prior. Like, they're not talking about, what the clock speeds are for the GPU or the CPU or anything like that. And those are integral to actually completing the entire story, right? You look at what I think it was Clobriel posted this on I almost said Facebook, Twitter, maybe a week ago or something like that, talking about Lockhart and Anaconda, and it's like, that's nice, but it still doesn't tell anything new about this entire scenario. So like, everything's based off of what Digital Foundry is talking about and what AppySac found with the Gonzalo SOC. If that SOC is to be believed, then there might be something here, but at the end of the day, we have no idea what they're trying to do.
I'm gonna need you to grab your nuts and make a bold statement here, man.
I got your bold statement right over here. Here's a bold statement.
Let's hear it. I want to hear a bold statement.
PS5, $400.
Oh, that's
not going to have all them teraflops. Look, how many years, how many generations do we have to go deal with Sony's marketing and overhyping of things? Remember the cell processor?
Yeah,
it can do anything. It could send spaceships into space. It's amazing. Like, come on, no, it wasn't.
He ain't lying.
And I'm not for the tomfoolery with Sony this time. I'm just gonna wait until it comes out and see what it's got. But I don't think they're ever really gonna go over $400. That's the sweet spot. Yeah. That's where casuals don't mind dropping money down, knowing they also got.
But can we right on that? What was the PS3 at? Like, you're talking about one generation that sold a lot of consoles, but the PS3 was how much?
When the PS3 came out, they said you're going to need a second job to buy one. Now they're basically saying, hey, with the PS5,
and that was a major mistake, and they know that was a major mistake. They're never going to make that mistake again. They're not.
They're not going to be at 600. They're not going to be at 400.
Slow-mo, their slogan now is, you can afford a PlayStation 5, you save a couple of welfare checks. Boom.
Can we seriously talk about the term secret sauce here? Okay.
Yeah.
This is nothing but marketing, people. The secret sauce that they're talking. You look at Mark Cerny and his weird looking ass.
You don't want Mark Cerny's secret sauce, man.
No.
You're like, no, Cerny's not bad.
They started talking about
Mark Cerny left his secret sauce on some little girl's window last night.
Well, he started talking about secret sauce with the PlayStation 4, right? They're talking about
rapid. Leave it on the window.
Rapid.
He was looking at
if you stick two dicks in one, it's called rapid pack ass.
Mark Cerny started talking about secret sauce when it came to the PlayStation 4 Pro and Rapid Pack Math. Rapid Pack Math is a real thing, people, but they never utilized it to its full extent. So that whole secret sauce marketing ploy never came to fruition. The games that you would be challenged to try and find me more than 5 games that utilized Rapid Pack Math for the PlayStation 4 Pro. You can't, because they don't exist. All right, the one game that I can, or the 2 games that I can think of off the top of my head, is F1 2018, which is a racing game, and Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. Those are the only 2 games that, to my knowledge, utilized Rapid Pack Math on the PlayStation 4 Pro. Like, your secret sauce won't work if devs don't utilize it. And the same thing can be applied to DX12. You look at DX12. Now, DX12 is a hell of a lot more utilized than Rapid Pack Math. You can take that to the bank. With DX12, you're looking at very small margins of performance uplift. Especially for games that are built on them. You look at Rise of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, any Forza game, Wolfenstein, that uses Vulkan better, but the performance uplift with DX12 for games that are built with DX12 in mind is maybe less than 15%. You're talking 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frames. That's not the performance uplift that people actually think DX12 is going to do for, what they thought it was going to do for the Xbox One consoles. The margins is just not there. And the same thing can be said for Anaconda. The margins do help slightly with some of the bottlenecks that they had for the console, but you're not going to get 20, 30 FPS gains because of DX12. That's not how that works, and you don't even see that on the PC side of things either. It's just not utilized to that extent. This whole secret sauce stuff with Xbox and PlayStation, it's there, but it's very, very tiny margins. You'd be pressed to even tell a difference, honestly.
Titans used to tiny margins. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Wilmy, what's up, dude? I haven't. Wilmy?
Here is the important question nobody has thought of. If you're playing Days Gone on the PS5, will Deacon's fucking motorcycle actually be under him?
Oh,
okay, good one. Good one. I like where you're going with this.
Good.
Will it actually
or will you be under the map, right?
Exactly. I mean,
yeah. So how many flops are flippeting on the PS5 for you?
I really don't care. I just want
to. I don't care.
I'm tired of riding through the fucking woods, running from freakers just in midair.
He said however many flops it takes me to stay on top of the map.
Exactly. Just show me that bike. I keep running all these errands for all these encampments. I've got all this cool shit and I can't even see it. Just give me my motorcycle. That's it.
Yeah.
However many flops that takes, give me those fucking flops. I just want my bike.
But you ain't lying, man. They're stressing that PS4 out to the max capacity. But Hyena stated facts again with the secret sauce. Now, here is the tangible fact for you to back that up. That secret sauce is just fucking bullshit, right? In this article, I'm just going to save you all some time if you thought this article was interesting, because it's all in the title. Let me sum up the entire article for you. Here it goes. Us at AMD are excited to show you what the PlayStation can do. It's got a secret sauce to it. And it's not coming out in 2019, probably in November 2020. And that's it. That's all this goddamn article said. I do not, if I didn't see who wrote this article, if I didn't see the publisher of it, I swear I would have thought Crap Gamer became a journalist and wrote this piece of crap article. And this is the crap that pisses me off, and it's got to stamp all this clickbait crap in the industry that I have no respect or tolerance for. It's got me so pissed that I'm not even gonna go there yet. I'm not ready yet. Next, I'm not going there yet.
I mean, stuck in his margin again.
You also look at I almost forgot to bring up ESRAM. Okay, ESRAM again is a real thing, and it's brutally fucking fast. It was used on the 360, and it was used on the base Xbox One. But again, it did jack all because the developers didn't want to mess with it. It was too much of a hassle for them, so they said, "Fuck it, we're not even going to mess with it." If developers aren't going to utilize what you have to offer, then it's not going to do anything for you. And that can be said for ESRAM, DX12, Vulkan,
Rapid Path
Math, whatever they can conjure up. A lot of this stuff, to most gamers, it's not going to matter because you're never going to see the margins. You're not going to.
It's all about the margins, you know what I'm saying? Real quick, so I don't get accused of clickbait, because that's not what we do. The huge announcement at E3 that was rumored was the whole Crytek thing, so we're just going to debunk that real quick. In my opinion, there's rumors out there that Microsoft's going to acquire some studios, which I think will happen at E3. One or two will probably be announced. I don't think one of those is going to be Crytek. There's IO Interactive, and what was the other one? Hyena. What was the other? Relic. So, man, Clobrel kind of put a blowtorch to the Crytek rumors. Do you guys think there's all?
He did, but in a weird way, didn't he?
Yeah, but I don't know, man. The way he was talking, it was just kind of like he was trying to put the fire out on those rumors, Yeah. Would I like to see Crytek?
Yeah. Which sucks, too.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that Crytek thing's going to happen, man.
When I made my video about the studio I wanted to see join Xbox Game Studios, 3 of the 9 I knew were never going to happen, but that was besides the point. It was something I would personally like to see. You look at Remedy. Remedy's never going to join Xbox Game Studios, or at least I don't think they're going to. I don't think Crytek is going to join Xbox Game Studios.
No.
Would I like them to? Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, they would be the bomb. They would be the nuke that the Xbox needed for us hardcore, wouldn't it?
I genuinely love Crytek's work. Like you look at what the CryEngine can actually do. You look at the Crysis games; they were benchmarks for PCs for so many years. They nearly destroyed the Xbox 360 and PS3. They ran under sub 10 frames per second. They were that demanding. And then you have obviously Rise. I thoroughly enjoyed Rise: Son of Rome, and I do wish that there is a sequel. It probably won't happen, but with Crytek, I do think that it is a dream for a lot of Xbox fans, because there is some sort of sentimental value when it comes to that studio specifically. It's the same can be said for, Remedy or any other studio that has worked, or Insomniac, any other studio that has worked with Xbox in the past and has made great work, but who knows if it's going to happen or not.
Yeah, I think out of any of them, I think IO Interactive would probably be the choice for me, because that studio's kind of struggled. They have the Hitman IP and stuff like that. They seem to make the games that would fit perfectly into Game Pass. So if I was a betting man, I would say IO Interactive. What do you guys think? Crytek. I know a lot of people want to see another Rise, but I don't think that's happening either, man. That's in the round file with Sunset
That would be
Overdrive
the biggest
2,
reason that Microsoft tries to acquire them. I really don't think they're like super interested in the engine. While that's cool, the Crysis engine or whatever, I think the biggest thing is to try to get that property, because I think they know there's a lot of Xbox fans out there crying to get a sequel. It's a game that practically demands one. I don't think we've seen the best of that franchise by any means, considering that Rise was, remember, sort of stalled midway because it was supposed to be a Kinect game and then they switched. So I think it was short change because of a few of those developmental issues. But they're definitely a talented studio, great engine, and like I said, that even the Crysis games alone are pretty damn cool. They could use some people to help tell some stories a bit better, but there's no doubting their engines and their games look fantastic, and I can only imagine what some of their new games are going to look like. So yeah, I'd love to see a Rise 2. I don't think there's any legitimacy to it though. Like you said, Salty, it's probably going to be a smaller studio that's promising, and IO definitely needs a home where they could get that AAA budget to really pump their stuff out, because they've been kind of, him and Han quite a bit and resting on the Hitman laurel. That's a pretty cool franchise, but I think that's also a franchise that could use a bit of a shot in the arm, so to speak. Maybe I don't know, it just needs something. I can't put my finger on it, but it's definitely not the franchise it could be, but you never know what could happen with the right money and marketing behind it.
Yeah.
I actually had this conversation on Brap last night with Enrique and Eric Jackson. Enrique, and shout out to the Brap guys if they're listening. Enrique has a contact with Crytek, and he said he hasn't spoke to him recently, so he doesn't know anything definite about Crytek and Microsoft. But he was very skeptical of this rumor based upon the last time he spoke with his contact with Crytek. The relationship with Microsoft was not good. Based upon how development went with Rise and I think another game called Warface. So just based off of those two, it to him it seems really unlikely that Crytek would be interested in anything like that. And plus, I thought I heard that they were purchased by Amazon a while ago, but I may be wrong by that. Yeah,
Amazon. They didn't ask them. They did an agreement with Crytek to where they licensed the CryEngine out to them, and then they
okay. Yeah, they built the engine license. Got you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I just don't think. I don't think it's. I think this is just people throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what's going to stick. I do think IO Interactive is probably a done deal. There's been too many times I've heard from people who have sources that they've been talking to IO Interactive, and they were with Square Enix. They're not anymore. They got the Hitman license. That they put the game out. It was a good game, and it didn't sell well. And typically, when independent devs have good games and they don't sell well, they're going to have to make a choice. We're either going to go under, or we're going to, we're going to get purchased by someone, or get hooked up with a big time publisher. And I think they're at that position right now, so I think that's going to happen.
This whole thing with Crytek is weird because, like, when I look at them, they still constantly do business with Microsoft. Every single game, or nearly every single game they've come out with, they've had some sort of partnership with them. You look at Rise, you look at the first Crysis game, you look at Hunt Showdown, that's going to be an Xbox game, or it already is an Xbox game preview, I think. That game looks great. But they obviously still have a working relationship with them. I know that people say, well, they're still burned out about what happened with Rice and of Rome. I don't think those bad relationships are still lingering anymore. I'd like to think that Crytek is over that stuff. Some people might say, well, why would they agree to Microsoft acquiring them if they have bad blood? And the only reason why I would push that aside is because if you look at what happened with Microsoft and Obsidian, for those that don't know, Microsoft almost sent that entire studio under because they canceled one of their projects. That was supposed to be an Xbox One launch title. Obsidian was extremely pissed off at Microsoft when that happened several years ago. But
it's a little bit too much. Okay, so I know about that. Jason Schreier wrote about that in his book. The game was Stormlands. That was the game that got canceled. They never even got as far as announcing it. And yeah, they did almost go under. But if you read the book, if you read what Jason Schreier wrote, there were people at Obsidian that was like, this isn't going well. This game's probably going to get canceled. I mean, they knew it wasn't like they blamed Microsoft, like, how dare you killed our lifeline. But they were just like, you know what, this is really not going that well. Development's not going well. They had some really ambitious ideas that just weren't really working out when it came to trying to implement them in a game. And I mean, it is what it is, but I think it's a little bit overblown where people are like, oh, Obsidian hates Microsoft. Like, I have yet to see a single comment from anyone, any of the top leadership where they were like, oh, screw Microsoft, they almost killed us. But it's always been kind of like that ever since Bungie left. It's always been kind of like this. Anytime something doesn't really work out with Microsoft and a developer, there's like this talk that, oh, they hate Microsoft, that kind of stuff. Like I whenever I hear, I'm like, especially when it comes to Obsidian, like when I read that chapter, Jason Schreier is really great at investigating that kind of stuff. Like if you read that chapter of the book, there's nothing in there where they're like, damn Microsoft, damn them, no, they were like, hey, look, it didn't work out, but let's go ahead and get this Kickstarter started. I mean, that not working out got us Pillars of Eternity, which is a great series. But yeah, I just wanted to say, just like I don't think that Obsidian's a great example of it, but also I do see your point, just because there may have been bad blood at one point, because Rise was some years ago, that things could change now. Things, cooler heads can prevail. Maybe they're talking with different people. Maybe Phil wasn't involved before, but now he is involved now, and he can get things started. So I do see your point there.
I think it's management changing. It makes all the difference with this. Like with one of the CEOs of Obsidian recently left, and like before Microsoft was about to acquire them, I think this was the same day that XO was happening. He was on Twitter just ranting out of his ass because like he did not want to see it happen. There is animosity between them with upper management specifically. And I think that might have been the case for Crytek 6 years ago. But if that management isn't there anymore, then that sort of thing could happen now, where they might be open to it. But I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with Crytek, if it could happen, if it can't. It depends on many different factors.
I'll tell you what, if they do get him, man, that'll blow the doors off the roof. Oh my gosh. That's the one. Because that new game, you mentioned it. What was that new game called that's coming out?
Hunt Showdown.
That game looks freaking fantastic. If that could be on Game Pass day, man, live. Oh, give me ammunition for my firepower. The Xbox team. Let me keep.
I don't want people to get it twisted. Like I would be extremely excited if Crytek were a possibility, and that was announced at E3, because I do love that studio, but we'll have to see what happens with that.
That's right. Keep the dream alive, I guess, for Crytek. It's been a fantastic show. It flew by, man. We went over time. So a little extra coverage for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to slap the like button. Let's get 80 likes before we get out of here. If you're listening on demand, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. We do this every Thursday night, Salty Thursdays, every night, 9 p.m. Eastern. So stay tuned for our next show. So anyway, without further ado, let's get to our outros. Let's start off with our first-time guests. Wilmy Hood, it was good to have you on. Glad we could get you started in the podcast world. Where can people find you, man?
Well, if you find me on YouTube or Mixer or Twitch, you're going to be sorely disappointed. I don't really stream very often, but you can find me on Twitter at Stricken Gamer.
Yep.
You can find me on my Facebook group, Gaming Beyond the Box. That's really about it.
Awesome, man. I hope you had a fun time with the Salty Boys here on TSGP. It was fun having you on, man.
Well, other than the fact that Spectrum decided, they wanted to update my internet tonight. Yeah, it was great.
Good old updates, right?
Freaking internet, man.
Yeah.
ISPs, I hate them.
Next up, Slow-Mo. You killed it, man. Good debates, good topics. This guy, follow him on Twitter, follow him on wherever you can follow him. Where can people find you, man?
Yeah, hey, thanks for the invite. I really had a good time. You guys are awesome. A lot of fun. I like the laid back atmosphere. I feel like I'm at home.
Yeah, for sure, dude. That's how it's supposed to be, right?
Shoes off and whatnot. My feet stink a little bit, but I'm sorry about that.
I'm gonna put your shoes back on.
But yeah, you guys can catch me on Twitter. Same name, Slow-Mo Backslap. I'm also on Saturdays. I'm on Scumcast with the Ash and Luca. And the whole gang there, the Scumcast gang. It's fun. You just check us out. It's a lot of fun. It's a good time. Also on Brat Basement Radio Arcade Podcast Wednesdays on at 9 p.m. Eastern. So
awesome. Yeah, I'll put the information for both of these fellows in the description and in the comment section. So be sure to follow them wherever you can find them. Let's start off with Titan Drago. Where can people find you? I know you're working on a new music piece, so you can tease that out there, right?
Oh my God.
All right. Well, tonight I feel like I hogged the mic a lot this episode. And I had all kinds of stuff to say that I didn't even get to. So I'm sorry to Wilmy and Slow-Mo for that. But I think I could have incorporated you two better. So I'm sorry for that. But hopefully you guys will get back on here sometime. And I'd like to see you guys back personally. But yeah, like Salty said, my next parody is going to be a little different from what I previously put out. The lyrics, I told Salty this. The lyrics literally wrote themselves, people. I'm not lying, okay? So I can't really take much credit for it because they wrote themselves. But they are done, so I just got to record the video and audio, and I'll put that out for you guys hopefully within a couple of weeks. And until then, let's bring the common back to sense.
Awesome. Next up, we have Noof Nukem. Where can people find you, man?
Boom, kaboom, it's Noof leaving the room, and I got this guy here. He's got to say a few words, I guess, according to someone in the chat. Guys, I just wanted to say thank you for coming out here and enjoying the podcast. The Saltiest Gaming Podcast is always the top-notch show. It was a lot of debates. It was a lot of crazy shit. But you can also find Noof. He's usually on the Xbox. He's on the PlayStation. Sometimes he's even on the old lady. But either which way, guys, I hope you guys had a great evening. I will see you all next time. Peace out. The way to go there. Rumble Foreskin. You're awesome. Thanks for all your donations. You're great. You guys are fantastic. Peace out.
Awesome, Arnold. Love to have you here. Thanks for showing up.
Roll.
Hyena Den, where can people find you, man?
Absolutely. It was another great show. I apologize in advance for being all over the place tonight. But you guys can find me at on Twitter at Hyena Den XBL and Hyena Space Den on Xbox Live and YouTube, where you'll find my videos explaining the PS5 stuff much better than I did tonight. So definitely go check that stuff out. I'm also going to be doing a video on Anaconda as well, trying to explain yields and all sort of exciting tech stuff to make sense of all of these leaks that I'm seeing around here. But yeah, a lot of really exciting stuff. Tomorrow marks the first year of this new gamer tag that I made on Xbox Live, and I'm like 2,000 gamer score away from 40,000 in a single year. Yeah, I'm moving up real fast with this gamer tag. I just 100%ed Fallout 3, which is still a GOAT to this day. I'm about to 100% Oblivion, which is a GOAT as well. Like these Bethesda games just aren't old to me. They're fucking amazing. But yeah, doing a lot of exciting stuff, running on very little sleep. So definitely check out my stuff.
Damn, you gonna catch me and my gamer score in 1 year. Holy shit. All right, that's awesome. Shout out to Bloody Knuckles. He had an emergency call or something he had to do, so it was good to have him on the human Wikipedia. But yeah, let us know what gifts you like, which ones you hate, all that good stuff. We're trying to, I like to keep it funny with these gifts. Sometimes they don't make sense, sometimes they do. I have a stack of them, right? There's so many in my OBS right now, it's like lagging my computer, but like my CPU is only at 12%. It's weird. But if you like the new ones, let me know. If you hated them, let me know. Whatever, just if you like some gifts, hit me up on Twitter, we'll throw them in there. Shout out to all the members of the channel, the new member Timothy Dixon, shout out to you, all the people that put some super chats in there, supported the channel, all the Patreon supporters. The channel is just doing amazing, and I can't do it without, we all can't do it without you guys. We love coming here on Thursdays. It's a highlight of all of our weeks. Salty Thursdays are amazing. So anyway, you guys have a great weekend. Play Sea of Thieves or play whatever you want at Days Gone.
Tonight, let's go!
Yes. All right. So you guys have a great weekend, and as always, stay salty, my friends.